you're smart, I find you a star, and we could be in love, lighting up the dark.
Hey, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Chris. I'm super excited about this new project that's behind me on either corner. It was quick, it was easy, it was very inexpensive. I might be a little bit biased, but I do think it turned out pretty good. So if you end up enjoying this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and let me know if you have any questions. The first thing you're going to do is adjust your table saw to 45 degrees. Next, you want to align your fence so that you're only taking off the small corner of your 1x2 inch piece of wood. And once you're done with this cut, make sure to save that little strip because we're going to be using that later on. Step number 2, we're going to be moving the fence a little bit closer, and we're going to be lowering the blade so that it only goes about halfway through the wood. This is going to create the channel that we can slide our diffuser material into. So I've searched high and low on Amazon for different things that diffuse LED lights, and I don't think anything has worked as well as this 12 inch by 12 inch piece of white acrylic that's 1/8 of an inch thick. It has the perfect balance of letting enough light through so it's bright, but at the same time blocking enough out so you don't see the individual LED pixels. And for this step, you're simply cutting the square in half. So this is the corner where I'm going to be setting things up. It's just your average 90-degree angle that I would imagine most of your homes have. If you remember back to the very first cut that we made, I'm going to be taking this small piece of wood. This is going to fit perfectly right up in that corner here. Just like that. And this is where I'm going to be placing the LED strip. Now this is super lightweight, and the LED strips aren't going to weigh much, so I'm going to just first try attaching some pieces of painter's tape to a couple spots and then pressing it up against the wall. See if that's strong enough to hold. If not, I can always just do a couple pilot holes and then use some screws. But we're going to try the painter's tape first, see how that works. Before moving on, I want to thank Skillshare for being the official sponsor of this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes led by some of the most talented individuals on earth. A few of the topics that really jumped out at me were photography, film and video, crafts, and music production. So above and beyond LED lights, I'm also a huge fan of all things tech. And I'm sure many of you know who he is, but Marcus Brownlee is one of my favorite YouTubers to follow. That's why I was super excited when I logged on to Skillshare and saw that he led a class called YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with Marcus Brownlee. Coming in at just over an hour, this was an amazing session. And whether you're a beginner like myself or someone who's been making videos for a very long time, I promise you're going to learn a few new things that you can take away and incorporate in your future projects. And as a thank you, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. And now back to the project. As far as LEDs, I'm going to be using these Govee RGB IC strip lights. Now these have the warm whites, the cool whites, it has that rainbow chasing effect, it has the music mode, so these should work good. And as far as keeping the project as simple and quick as possible, you can't go wrong with these. But honestly, depending on your budget, your technical ability, you could use any LED strips that you like. Since these particular lights are 16 feet in length, I only need 6, so I'm just going to measure it and cut them down to size. Now you're just going to secure the lights to that thin strip of wood. For installing the 2 side channels, I'm first just attaching them to the wall using some painter's tape. Once I know they're positioned correctly so that the acrylic will slide through the grooves, you can secure these to the wall using some L-shaped brackets on the inside. In full transparency, I still have not done this. It's been about 2 weeks and the painter's tape is still holding strong. Now all you have to do is slide the acrylic in place. You could probably come up with 100 different ways to ensure the acrylic doesn't fall back down, but for now I'm just going to use a little bit of tape. So that's pretty much it, and hopefully you can see how simple and quick this project was. I think it took me about 30 minutes from start to finish. Now before showing you the final pictures and videos, I wanted to go over a couple different ideas I had to customize this design to make it a little bit more unique. The first idea I had was to use my Cricut Maker to cut some shapes out of vinyl and then attach that vinyl to some clear stencil sheets. Now this thin layer of plastic will fit right into the same grooves that the acrylic is in. So the sky's the limit for the things you could do using this technique, and I'm super excited to try out different designs down the road. For the next idea, I thought it might look cool to attach some plants to the side panels of this design. I had these fake leafy things laying around that I thought would be easy to use. You could probably just use some clear tape to attach it to the sides, or if you're ambitious, you could drill a few holes to insert the beginning part of the plant. And my last design tweak is kind of similar to the first one, but if you go to your local arts and crafts store such as Hobby Lobby, they have a paper section, and I believe it's called vellum paper, but it's thin and somewhat transparent that usually has designs on it, and this would work the same way where you could put right in front of the acrylic in those grooves.